So basically what I'm going to do in this is show you how to use the GCA DMARC risk scanner that was developed by one of our great developers. But the first thing is, in order to actually use the tool, you actually have to download it, and it is available on our GitHub channel or website. So if you go to GitHub and then Global Cyber Alliance, this is where you can see the tools that we have. And then obviously the one we're focusing on is the GCA DMARC risk scanner. So when I click on this link, it's going to bring you to a section where you can see pretty much quite a lot of information, a few things that it looks like you may have to download. But instead of doing any of the things that are listed here or downloading any of the things that are there, what you can do is you can go to the releases, and under releases, you can download pretty much a packaged version of the DMARC scanner. So if you're running Linux, you download this one, OS X, so Mac OS X, you'll download this one, and so on. So I already downloaded it. I downloaded it drs-osx.zip. Basically, once I downloaded it, I unzipped it and put it into a folder on my system. So now, in order to actually use the tool itself, the tool is a command line tool. So meaning that you have to actually open up a terminal window in order to get access to this. So without that window, you're not going to be able to do anything that needs to be done. So I have a terminal window right here. So if you're not sure on a Mac how to get to the terminal window, what you can do is you go into your applications. Under applications, you go to utilities, and under utilities, you have terminal. And you just click on that, and a terminal window will pop up. Now, in order to use a scanner, you have to first make sure you go to the folder that you put the scanner into. So in this case, I put the scanner into my documents folder and created a folder called scanner. So right now I'm in the scanner folder. Now there's various ways that you can use this tool. You can use the scanning tool to look at a single domain and get information about a single domain, or you can use it to do a bulk scan. So that's where it's up to you on which way you want to go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show how to actually do a single scan. So just for a single domain that's out there. So to do this, the command that you're going to use is /DRS. That's the name of the tool. It's actually DRS. So DMARC risk scanner. It's so DRS for short. After the /DRS is where you can type in what you actually want to look for. So in this case, if we're looking for DMARC, we type in DMARC and then the domain that we want to look up. So say DMARC globalcyberalliance.org. I press enter, and now it gives me the DMARC record for Global Cyber Alliance. So it shows us what level of DMARC we're at, which is P equals reject, and additional information. So you're not only restricted to DMARC, you can actually look up SPF records as well. So just to make it easier to see, I'm going to clear the screen. So I type in /DRS, then type in SPF, and then again the domain that I want to look up. So I type that in. Now it gives me the record for SPF. So this is our SPF record. You can also look up DKIM as well. So /DRS space DKIM. But now in order to look up DKIM, you can't just put in the domain. You do need additional information, and this is why it's difficult to do like a bulk scan for DKIM. So if I were to just do this, it's going to tell me like, no, this doesn't work because you need additional information. And the additional information that we need is the selector. So there are common selectors that are being used by various organizations, but they are in the billions. There's most likely millions and millions of unique selectors that are out there. So in our case, we used GCA for our selector. Excuse me, so I'm adding GCA to the end. Hit enter, and now here is our public DKIM key. So you have those options. Just remember with DKIM, you have to know what the selector is in order to actually be able to view that particular record. So this is how you go about in terms of doing a single scan. So for, again, DMARC, SPF, and DKIM. Your other option is they can do a bulk scan. Now, in order to do a bulk scan, you do have to supply a list of domains for it to focus on. So I already have a list here. I'm going to open up a text editor. In this text editor, here's about 184 domains that I'm going to scan. The name of the file, in this case, I'm calling it domains. So that's fine. So I'm saving this, and I'll close it for now. And then what I need to do in the terminal window is basically tell it that I want to do a bulk scan. So again, you will still start off with ./DRS space. Now you're going to type in bulk, because that's basically what you're doing. You're doing a bulk scan. So after bulk, you get put in .. and then whom you want to use for the scanning capability. So where are you going to do the DNS querying? So in this case, we're going to use a large ISP level 3. So you can use Google. Then there's other ones that are out there that you can use as well, if you choose to. Then after this, we'll put in a caret, and then you're going to define the name of the file which has the list of domains. So I kept this simple and called the domain list domains. Then you're going to put another caret, and then you're going to define basically where to put the output into. So where do you want the files to reside, or where do you want the results to be placed into? So here, I'm just going to keep it simple. Now, it can be any type of file. Typically, it's recommended either have it a text file. If you're into programming, you can put into what they call a JSON file. So you put in .json. You can try putting into an XLS. There's various things that you can do as you choose to. In this case, I'm going to do it in a JSON format because I'm just used to that. So this is all you need in terms of the command. So you're going to put in the command, the tool command, bulk, because you're doing a bulk scan. Who are you going to use for the querying? The name of the file that has a list of domains, and where you're going to put the results into. Now I'm going to hit enter. So now the way the scanner works is going to now go out, run the queries, check for the information, and pull the data that it needs. And hopefully put it all into this one JSON file. Now, we had about 184 domains in this list. So this is why the scan went relatively quickly. The larger the number of domains, the longer this will take. So take that into account. So if you're going into the thousands, this will take a few minutes. If you're going into the millions, it could take hours or possibly the entire day. So take that into account. So now we have a domains.json file. So what do I do with this file? How do I actually display and view the file? So if I actually put in domains.xls, it would have actually used an Excel spreadsheet and put all the data in there. But I chose not to do it that way. But I am going to actually import it into an Excel document just so you can see what it looks like. So here's Excel. And what we'll do here is I'm going to import the data. So what we'll do is we're going to go to the data tab, and from the data tab, you're going to choose from text. Now I put all my files into the scanning folder. So it went to so basically documents, scanner, and here's the file that I'm using. Click on get data, and then now I'm going to import the data and choose how I want to import it into the Excel document. I'm going to choose delimited because this is going to allow me to actually break it apart into the sections that I want to have. So when I press next, I'm going to put in the items and how I want it to be separated. So I'm going to separate it by tab, by commas, and by a colon. So those are the items in the JSON file that are actually used to separate each of the items or each of the sections of the records for each domain. And at that point, I can press finish. It'll start off at the top column, press OK, and here is all the information. So for now, I'm just going to click delete this line here. But basically what you can see here, and I'll make it a little bit larger so it's easier to see. But what we have here is column A is our list of domains. Column C is the actual SPF record, right? So it says SPF, this is the record. Then we have DMARC, here's our DMARC records. And then the time it took, and if there's any errors that appear, then it will give you some additional information here. But this is where it gives you that bulk scan, gives you the bulk information. And this is where you can say, again, who has what record, what exactly is their record, and do they have DMARC associated with it? And then you can do your analysis based on how you're looking for the data and what you would like to do with this data, and go from there. So that's really it. That's what the DMARC bulk scanner is. So I showed you how to do it in single scan and how to do it in a bulk scan.